He stared at the screen. 5 nuclear missiles were heading toward the Soviet Union. He had minutes, maybe seconds, to decide whether the world would live or die in fire. And he was the only man who could stop it. Welcome to the Timeless Brew. In this episode, we dive into a moment in 1983 when the fate of the world rested on the shoulders of a single man. A man who disobeyed orders, trusted his gut, and may have saved all of humanity. His name was Stanislav Petrov. It's the height of the Cold War. The year is 1983. The United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a terrifying standoff. Both sides have thousands of nuclear weapons pointed at each other. The fear isn't just war, it's total annihilation. Only 3 weeks earlier, the Soviet Union had shot down a Korean passenger plane that drifted into its airspace, CAL Flight 007, killing all 269 people on board. The world was already on edge. The Soviet military believed the U.S. might strike at any moment. So, when the Soviet early warning satellites reported 5 incoming American missiles on September 26, 1983, the system kicked into emergency mode, and Stanislav Petrov was the officer on duty. Petrov was stationed at Serpukhov 15, a secret command center buried deep in the forest. His job, to monitor early warning systems and report any incoming attacks to the Soviet High Command. And then, it happened. A missile alert. 1 missile, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. The computers screamed, "Launch detected." The screen turned red. The sirens howled. The system said America had launched nuclear weapons. All Petrov had to do was pick up the phone and report it. That call would have triggered a Soviet counterstrike. Thousands, maybe millions, would die within minutes. But something didn't feel right. Why only 5 missiles? If the U.S. wanted to start a war, why would they launch just 5? Why not launch hundreds? The system said it was real. His training told him to report it, but his gut told him it was wrong. And so, Petrov disobeyed orders. He reported it as a false alarm. He waited, sweating. If he was wrong, Soviet cities would be vaporized in minutes. But no explosions came. He was right. The alarm had been triggered by a glare from the sun reflecting off clouds, which the satellite mistook for missile launches. The system had failed, and only one man's decision stopped the Cold War from going nuclear. Stanislav Petrov had no special powers, no presidential rank. He wasn't supposed to decide the fate of the world, but that night he did, and no one knew for decades. Petrov didn't get a medal. In fact, he was reprimanded for not filing the incident properly in the logbook. The event was classified and hidden away until the late 1990s. Petrov quietly retired, living in a small apartment outside Moscow. He died in 2017 with little fanfare. But history has a long memory, and now people around the world know the truth, that once, when the world nearly ended, Stanislav Petrov chose not to start a war. In a time defined by fear, by weapons, by the threat of instant death, it wasn't a missile system or a chain of command that saved the world. It was one man sitting alone in a bunker who chose to be calm, to think, to doubt the machines. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is doing nothing at all. And with that, we close the book on today's story. Thanks for listening to the Timeless Brew. If you enjoyed this episode, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who loves powerful stories from history. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, history isn't just about what happened. Sometimes it's about what almost did.